This is a ski descent of Shulaps Peak up in the Chilcotins. I've been wanting to do this for quite a long time. I've heard so many great things about the snow up in this area, but unless you're heli-skiing or on a snowcat, it's not an area you see a whole lot of activity out of on the internet or generally just talking to people. People are either quiet about it or not doing it too much. But what you see about this place in the summer, it's big open alpine terrain, it's cold, it seems like it should be great, so I really wanted to find out. A couple of my friends wanted to come up pretty early in the season while the roads were still drivable. They snowshoed up, but I brought my skis because I really wanted to know if it would work. And so you'll see me skiing pretty cautiously because this is a pretty sharky area, especially in November when this was filmed. But I just like to point out, I'm on my skis, I'm skiing, I'm having a good time. So if you're wondering if the Chilcotins and Shulaps specifically will go in the winter, I would like to say yes. Yes, they do. You might want to wait a little longer than I did to get in. Marshall Lake Road, which is one of the roads we use to access this area, is somewhat maintained in the winter. We drove up a little spur road to get to the trailhead for this, but it doesn't make the day untenable. So I think that you definitely should give it a try. The terrain is awesome. If I wasn't trying to avoid all the sharks, I could be skiing a lot harder than I am in this footage, but the potential is there. So I say that this is a great ski touring zone and more people should go. So hopefully this is helpful information to somebody out there. Enjoy. The other reasons I was skiing kind of slow is you'll see that gear stash I just found there. I left some extra stuff on the way up because turns out re-breaking an entire new trail on skis because your friends went straight up the mountain on their snowshoes is pretty tiring. So this went on pretty late in the day, so I dropped some weight there to try to speed things up. But now I have my stuff so I can ski ever so slightly faster. Still not exactly full of confidence, but at least I can do more than 2 turns in a row now, so that's something.
Won't to stop. stop. Going to stop. Gas to stop. Going to stop. Gas stop. Gas to stop. Going to stop.
And here's where I arrive at another gear stash. You'll see I just jumped ahead. The terrain that we just skipped over was a maybe 150 meter of elevation snow ramp that we took up from the drainage basin down here to the upper mountain. You might be able to ski that in later season, but it's pretty exposed. Over to Skiers Right is pretty cliffy, so with the amount of sharks, it was not worth trying to ski until I got to the safer zone over here. There did look like there were a couple chutes that cut through a lot of it, so with a little more snow, you should be able to just stay on skis the whole time. As the sacrificial guy to go up in November to see what it's like, didn't quite have the opportunity, but once I got down here, the snow was better at least, and there was no exposure, so I took a couple turns. At the very least, I'd been lagging behind my friends all day as they snowshoed up with relative ease, but I finally got to get ahead on skis on the way out, which felt very nice, if it might have been short-lived, as you'll see later. Down from up there, we just had a big ol' traverse section, just going in a straight line. Eventually I moved from the left side of the creek that's theoretically under there to the right side, which is slightly interesting, I guess. But otherwise, yeah, this section's not very exciting. Terrain gets slightly more interesting shortly though, so stay tuned. Ooh, not sure what I did there, to be honest. Just hit a patch of different snow. Almost stayed dry for the whole time, but right at the end, had to do it to myself. Anyways, this crosses a creek that does actually become exposed water not too far below, so on the way up we were on the skier's left side of this. I cut over to skier's right on the way out, and we're about to get out of the annoying side hill on the steep side of the creek part into some actual pleasant skiing with the best snow that I had the whole day once I get at it out through this little side hilly bit, so that was nice. Didn't last too long, as you'll see, but it was nice that with all the wind effect that there was up in the Alpine, there was still some preserved snow down before we got into the forest again. Oh yeah, those two turns right there were the best turns of the day. Yeah, I wish there were more of them, but that's what happens when you go up for the climbing conditions and not for the skiing conditions. But hey, now we know the area goes. There are other mountains to bag up in this area, so we can come back. Isn't too much left after this. Mostly just follow the skin track over to the low point in the little basin where the creek is over here. You could ski below that, and even in this early season, I probably could have, but I'd have to have transitioned back onto skins to climb out of the creek, and then rip them again. There's a little bit of undulation. As you can see, the sun was pretty much setting, so I didn't want to slow down the party, so I just snowshoed out once I hit the low point. But if you're going out to ski, then you could totally ski out this trail. The forest is pretty well spaced, and even the trail itself is fairly skiable. If I had lots of time and my goal was to ski as much as I could rather than to get the summit and get out with my party at a somewhat reasonable hour, I probably would have, but since I wasn't the only one there, it didn't make sense for me. But I would definitely recommend this area to ski. The approach trail is quite reasonable, not much undulation, you mostly just go up. The forest would ski nicely, the Alpine is awesome. Hopefully you don't get wind affected snow as much as I did, but if you time it right, I think this could be a pretty great zone.